Let's have a look at the teams. Wigan are without captain Mario Melchiot. He's been hit by a neck injury, so Emerson Boy slots into right back. Paul Shawner, who normally saves his goals for Everton, had a fitness test beforehand and is only deemed fit enough to be on the bench. So Jason Scotland comes in. He's still looking for his first Premier League goal. Everton give a debut to Philippe Senderos. It's his first Premier League game since May 2008. He replaces Sylvain Distin, who's out injured. Apart from that, it's the same side which beat Sunderland quite comfortably at Goodison Park on Wednesday. There's no Mikel Arteta on the bench. He's picked up a slight groin injury.
Number 20, Stephen Pienaar. 21, Leon Osman. Number 23, Philippe Senderos.
Everton's renaissance has given them hope that once again they can force their way into the top six, unbeaten since November. They've appeared in the rear-view mirror of those ahead of them. And you never quite know what you're going to get with Wigan Athletic. On their day, they can be devastating. But we wait to see, Scott Minto, which Wigan has turned up today.
Well, that's right. I mean, we know under Roberto Martinez, we've seen his teams for Swansea and also here at Wigan. They play very good football, but there's no point in playing good football if you don't win the games and you're conceding silly goals. They've conceded way too many goals this season. I'm sure that's something Martinez will have tried to have worked on. But they're up against an Everton side who have had a fantastic month so far. They actually have a very difficult month coming up next month, playing against the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United and Spurs, as well as Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League. So I think this is a game that both teams will probably look at and think, listen, we've got to try and get 3 points out of it, and hopefully it'll be a good attacking game.
David Moyes isn't happy with something. He's been screaming towards the referee Lee Probert and the fourth official, who's Martin Atkinson, down below us. Not too sure what that was about, but Tim Cahill was complaining too. That's McCarthy, young Irishman who's been brought in from the SPL. Now Leon Osman, who was born just a mile down the road from here in Billinge. He's making a real name for himself at Everton. So too is this man, Stephen Pienaar, who is flying, as is Leighton Baines. Louis Sahar waiting in the middle, so too Osman. It's aimed towards Sahar, and Everton starting on the front foot. Now Pienaar. There's Osman. Neville. Now Landon Donovan, who's been so impressive since coming in on the loan spell from LA Galaxy. Osman bursting his way through. It's Leon Osman. And Stojkovic just about got down to it. Appeared to take a deflection on the way through, which almost wrong-footed the goalkeeper.
Yeah, good play from Leon Osman. And Everton generally, just wonder whether it flicked up, hit Tim Cahill's hand. You can see Wigan players stopping and claiming, but if you don't hear the whistle on the basic rules of football, you carry on playing. And in the end, he kind of scuffed it, and it looked like Stojkovic was actually going to go under it, but he managed to get the hand. A weak shot in the end, but it has been a very good start from Everton.
First chance for Wigan Athletic to exert some pressure on the Everton penalty area. Charles Nzobia has been electric so far this season. This is Fellaini, likewise lately for Everton, since moving back to his favourite defensive holding midfield position. Hugo Rodallega, who started out on the left-hand side with Jason Scotland through the middle. Thomas. Boyce. And for the injured Mario Melchiot, who broke his nose at Wolves a couple of weeks ago. Was playing, wearing a mask at Blackburn on Wednesday, and now has a neck injury. That's why he's missing today. Sahar, Landon Donovan.
It's interesting, Gary, you say about Rodallega playing on the left, and maybe at home a lot of people would think, listen, Jason Scotland and Rodallega, stick them up front, 4-4-2. But what it does do, it means there's a lot of width. When you've got Nzogby on the right-hand side and Rodallega on the left, it means there should be plenty of space for McCarthy to pick up the ball and try and play in the likes of Jason Scotland. And obviously with the two people playing out wide, just see Tim Cahill.
This is why Everton were complaining earlier on. It's the challenge of Gary Caldwell. Neville. High looking for Tim Cahill, who gets onto it. It's blocked by Stojkovic.
Well, again, he just gets behind. It's just one simple ball over the top. I mean, it's poor defending. There's no way he should be allowed to get in behind the back four there, and between the two centre-backs, they just don't deal with it. It gets behind Bramble. He does well because it's coming over his shoulder, very difficult. Knows he has to try and take it first time. Works the goalkeeper. He can't ask for much more than that. But poor defending from Wigan.
He has rediscovered his goal-scoring form of late, Tim Cahill. The goal against Sunderland, the goal against Carlisle United in the FA Cup as well. It's a clean tackle on Charles Nzobia. Pinar, Louis Sahar couldn't bring it under his spell. Here's Bramble. Hendry Thomas looking for Jason Scotland. Senderos marshals him well. You say he has a point to prove, Philippe Senderos. Arsenal letting him go on loan and taking in Sol Campbell.
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? I mean, you know, Sol Campbell hasn't really played this season. One game for Notts County and that's it. Hasn't really been playing any sort of practice matches either. Of course, he's been training with Arsenal for some time, but the fact that Arsene Wenger was willing to let Senderos go and bring in Sol Campbell, who clearly isn't 100% fit at the moment, doesn't speak great really for Senderos.
Donovan away from Figueroa, Cahill in the middle and Louis Sahar. And Donovan misses both of them.
Well, he does the hard bit. It's a great bit of skill here. Past Figueroa. He's got plenty of time to look up. There's no one going to the far post, so I'm not quite sure who he's aiming for there. Just whip it in when you're in that position, just trying to get it in between the goalkeeper and the back four. Such a horrible ball to defend against for defenders. And even if it's not one of your players that it comes to, as a defender, as I say, when you're facing your own goal, there's nothing worse than a really hard ball coming in. You're always worried about scoring an own goal.
Gary Caldwell. This is Wigan's first home game in the Barclays Premier League since Boxing Day. Reacquainted with their surroundings. Scotland clashing with Johnny Heitinga, and the free kick has gone Wigan's way.
Well, this would be a good little battle as well between the two of them. Scotland strong, not quite happened for him this season. And I think he's a good player. I think he's capable of scoring goals in the Premier League. Just taking him a bit longer than most people would have hoped. But he's a handful, even when he's not scoring, as you can see there.
Bramble forward, Emerson Boyce Saucer there being watched by Landon Donovan. Gary Caldwell, who scored from a set piece against Blackburn, also forward here. And it misses the ball, and it's a waste for Wigan.
Well, waste is the word. And you can see what he's trying to do, whip it in with pace. But there's no point in going for the pace if you don't get the accuracy, and that is a real waste. Great position for Wigan.
He has been Wigan's headline act so far this season, Charles Nzobia, showing the potential, realising the potential that Sir Bobby Robson saw in him all those years ago when he signed him for Newcastle. Fellaini. Scotland away from Heitinga at that time. Rodiega's through the middle, and here is Hugo Rodiega for Wigan Athletic, saved by Tim Howard and smashed away by Heitinga. Nice incisive move and good link-up play between Scotland and Rodiega. And Tim Howard putting a full stop to it. Pinar. There's Landon Donovan. Everton on the counter-attack here. Sahar waiting in the middle. Osman. Donovan trying to find Phil Neville. There's Figueroa with the clearance of Wigan. Tim Howard kept his 50th clean sheet in the Barclays Premier League on Wednesday. The clean sheets are coming back now for him at Everton. 3 in his last 4 games. He kept Wigan out there. Tim Cahill. Pinar. Senderos to Heitinga. Now Fellaini. Nathan Baines, who was part of Wigan's rise from League One to the Barclays Premier League, and that's a miscue from Leon Osman. Oh
yeah, you're right. It was a very, very good save from Tim Howard. Great play between Jason Scotland. Just wonder whether it just touched his arm first there as he was bringing that down, but great play. Good pass inside for Rodallega, does everything right, hits the target. Maybe could have taken it another touch, committed Howard even more. But that is a good save, diving to his left.
Hasn't scored since Boxing Day, Hugo Rodallega. 1 goal in his last 9 games.
And that's also what Martinez will be looking to do if Jason Scotland comes a little bit deep to pick up the ball. He wants one of the wingers to come inside and make that type of run. Again, very difficult for defenders to know whether to play onside or offside or go with them or not. And the run and the pass was timed perfectly. Just the finish wasn't quite there.
Diame. As Maynor Figueroa, a real statement of intent. Wigan giving him that contract. Dave Whelan, the owner, promising that if a big club comes in from Europe or in England, then he will get the move he's after, but not until at least the summer.
Well, you can see here, just as Scotland brings the ball down, commits Philip Senderos. Great run from Rodallega. Perhaps he had to take it there. Heitinga very, very close. 18 yards out. Just needs to strike through the ball rather than side-foot it. Still a good save, though, from Tim Howard.
Roberto Martinez after more firepower in this January transfer window. Scotland and Heitinga at each other again, but they were after Marco Ruben of Villarreal, but Dave Whelan refusing to pay the price tag, said he doesn't want to put his club in debt for one player. So Roberto Martinez may well want the all-action striker, but Dave Whelan says it's too costly. They have been linked with Victor Moses of Crystal Palace.
Join the queue.
There's Fellaini. Donovan. Now Sahar. Louis Sahar, he's done well to wriggle some room and strikes the post. Well, Everton then offside from the ball, which bounced back as Pienaar went to get it, but great skill from Louis Sahar to open up the opportunity.
Well, that's what he can do. Predominantly left-footed, but can come on his right. Does it come off Cahill? Yes, it does. He's the man in the offside position, so even if it had gone in, it wouldn't have counted. But very dangerous to allow Sahar to come in on his right foot, 20-25 yards out. You can see a good yard offside, comes off Cahill. Of course, if it hadn't touched him and gone straight in, it would have counted.
This is McCarthy striding forward for Wigan. Cahill. Stephen Pienaar. Osman. It's a neat again from Everton, and Osman was left on the ground, and Everton had this free kick.
Such a good little player, Leon Osman. Quick feet, plays the little 1-2s. We talked about the two defending midfielders for Wigan. That's what they want to try and do, try and get as close as possible, but obviously didn't get anywhere near the ball.
Heitinga, Fellaini, Cahill, waiting on the edge of the Wigan penalty area. Fellaini the target, hits his head to it, cleared by McCarthy. Neville. Rodallega, chance to run here. Scotland ahead of him. Here is Jason Scotland, who's onside. Is this the moment for Wigan Athletic? No, it's not. Still the wait goes on for his first Barclays Premier League goal.
Well, he does everything right here. It's a great counter-attack. Rodallega, the run's perfect, the ball's perfect. Senderos are trying to play offside. You can't do that when there's no pressure on the ball. He has to try and go with Scotland. Scotland knows one-on-one situation. Tries to just dink it over Tim Howard. Just catches too much on it there. Maybe it's bobbling a little bit, but he's got to be hitting the target.
Well, there are goals in Jason Scotland. 21 last season in the Championship. Only Sylvan Ebanks-Blake scored more. He too has struggled for goals this season, such as the step up to the Barclays Premier League. But Wigan have their tails up here, and Rodallega! And it will be a corner to the home side. Wigan on top.
Oh, without a doubt. And when you're on top, when you're down there in the table, you have to try and make these count. It's a good touch in the end from Senderos. Just takes it away from Roddy Jaeger at the far post. Can't get anywhere near it, but it is all Wigan.
And they offer plenty of threat from this position. Tim Howard has gone down on his goal line, and he's screaming at Lee Probert. The decision is a goal kick. Tim Howard's mindset here is that if this goes in, it's a goal.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. He's the one who's pushed Scotland away. Scotland just comes in a little bit. He's allowed to do that. His arms aren't up. I think Tim Howard's got to be stronger there, and Everton were again a little bit lucky. No one at the far post got the touch.
If anyone would have done, it would have counted. Good spell this for Wigan. Poor first half against Blackburn Rovers on Wednesday at Ewood Park. Responded in the second half, lost that game by 2-1, which has put them in trouble.
Yeah, home form's so important, isn't it? I talked about how they got extra games at home from now to the end of the season, and also beating teams around you. Everton, I don't believe, are one of those teams, but certainly you need to try and get at least a point against a team like Everton, possibly 3.
Neville's throw in, over the head of Cahill and dealt with by Bramble. Fellaini and McCarthy collide. Pienaar tries to get to it. Now it's Osman. At times this game is a real scrap. Baines with the cross. Sahar with the header. Stojkovic with the save. Wonderful football.
Well, we talked about Leighton Baines earlier and his great left foot. You can see here plenty of space. That is a fantastic ball in. There's no way Stojkovic can come out and claim that. Perhaps he made that look a little bit harder than it was, but it's a decent save. Good header.
Work to do for the referee here, involving Louis Sahara and Gary Caldwell. Philippe Senderos on the goal line is also getting involved, just by Stojkovic.
I'm sure Stojkovic will be hoping some cameraman got a picture of that. It'll be hanging on his wall in the next couple of weeks.
Diome holding off Philippe Senderos. Referee keeping an eagle eye on that. Landon Donovan with the corner towards Marouane Fellaini. Gets his head to it. Get over it.
Well, you do feel Everton are dangerous, but more so on set pieces. They've got the likes of Fellaini, Tim Cahill and Louis Sahar. As Senderos goes up, if the right ball comes in, you feel that they could definitely cause problems, but here's the chance, here's the save. That's a decent save. Great ball coming in there, great leap. And it's a little bit close to him, so I think he'd be disappointed if it had gone in, but has to do the right thing and just tip it over.
I mentioned the set pieces. Almost half of Everton's goals in the Barclays Premier League this season have come from corners or free kicks, set pieces.
So important in today's game now, isn't it? Set pieces. And of course, you ask Wigan what happened during the week. They lost their game on set pieces. So I just think even if you are the better side, if you don't defend against those type of set pieces, against a team like Everton, even if you are the better side, which Wigan are so far, you can end up coming up short.
Some interesting subplots developing, including Heitinger against Scotland. These two have just exchanged glances and words once more. Figueroa. And then Donovan gets to it. Nice ball from the Wigan left back. Osman. Now Sahar. Donovan trying to remain onside. Sahar trying to find him. Osman. This game is swinging one way and then the other. Everton, possession-wise, in the ascendancy right now. Pienaar. Sahar away from Colwell, he goes down. What's the decision here? Robert tells Louis Sahar to get to his feet. First big decision of this game.
Well, it's a big decision, and I think it's the wrong one. I think he just rolls in there. Sahar doesn't get anywhere near the ball, brings him down. That for me is a penalty. I think Colwell is very, very lucky Great skill and pace there from Sahar, just to shield himself between him and the defender. And you can see here from the referee, is what he's looking. Well, perhaps there's a player just in front of him, but I think that's a penalty. Just the referee's assistant is on the other side as well, so maybe he couldn't feel that he could see it, but I think Wigan, despite being the better side, are very, very lucky not to concede a penalty.
Well, David Morris was very philosophical, sat on his bench on his seat and talking to Martin Atkinson a few seconds ago, just after that incident. Looks like now he may be giving a verbal volley to the referee. Well, it's a tight game this, it may be a mistake which decides it. Donovan shot down by Rodallega.
Well, Phil Neville's certainly not happy with the challenge there. As you can see, Rodallega on Donovan. In fact, it was Figueroa, wasn't it? He didn't need to just come in there. It was quite clearly a foul by Rodallega.
It was the second one from Figueroa. It's one that Donovan had the problem with.
Yeah, that's good refereeing. On another day, he may have picked up a yellow card for that. It's a needless. Well, the foul was already committed, so it's needless to do that. But maybe he's a lucky boy, but I think that's good refereeing. Just having a quiet word, bringing the captain over, saying don't do that again.
Could well be the last act of this first half. Leighton Baines, the master of ceremonies. Comes in towards Tim Cahill. He's headed behind by Titus Bramble. It's a corner to Everton.
Well, getting set pieces, just so important. Just a wonderful ball in. Stojkovic can't come out and claim it. He wants to. He knows he has to go back.
Stephen Pienaar. It's a good ball to Senderos. Fellaini tried to get to it. McCarthy wasn't hanging around. It has been a tight first 45 minutes at the DW Stadium. It's goalless at the break. The real talking point, Everton's penalty appeal. Louis Sahar pulled down by Gary Caldwell. Lee Probert didn't see it as a penalty. Sahar continues his complaints. At the other end, Wigan going close. Jason Scotland down, Hugo Rodallega, while Sahar had a header saved by Vladimir Stojkovic. But Sahar continues his protests about the penalty appeal in the first half. At the break at the DW Stadium, it's Wigan Athletic 0, Everton 0. Not much between these two at half-time. Plenty of endeavour in that first half. Wigan with the clearer-cut chances, Everton with a huge penalty appeal. Both these teams do have a goal in them. It's not often they don't score in matches.
Yeah, I think what Louis Sahar was saying at the end of the first half was that if the referee felt it wasn't a foul, that he should have received a yellow card. That was why I think he was brandishing the sort of imaginary yellow card. But I don't think I think the referee was thinking, listen, it wasn't a penalty, but it also wasn't a dive. Maybe there was a little bit of contact, not enough for him to go down. I would disagree with that. I think there was plenty of contact, and Everton certainly should have had the penalty.
McCarthy. There's Emerson Boyce, slotting in a right back today. To see how long Mario Melchiot is out for. Fellaini shrugging off the attentions of McCarthy. Pienaar to Fellaini again, and now Louis Sahar. Tim Cahill trying to remain onside. Sahar, Cahill. It's congested, but Stephen Pienaar's wriggled away from Diame. Donovan in space on the far side. Everton free kick.
It was a great first touch from Pienaar. Didn't see much of him in the first half, and you can just see wanting to maybe get involved a little bit more in the centre of midfield. Great first touch. Diame, well, he does what he does best. He gets in there, he tries to make the tackle, but definite foul.
Well, this is within range for Everton. Heiting has moved forward. Leighton Baines can hit them. Stephen Pienaar scored against Manchester City a couple of weeks ago from a little wider out than this. Looks like Leighton Baines is to test Vladimir Stojkovic in the Wigan goal. Just scored the winning goal when these two met in August against his former club. Held his nerve from the penalty spot late on.
He's already put in a couple of great crosses, both in open play and from set pieces as well.
Leighton Baines, Stojkovic down. But full stretch, the Serbian goalkeeper. And almost coming back to haunt his former club, and this is Rodallega. And Wigan could be in here. Rodallega, Phil Neville was back at him. Lively start to the second half.
Well, this is what Wigan have done a few times in the first half. The quick counter-attack. They've got pace, there's no doubt about it. I think Phil Neville does excellent here. He just comes across, maybe that touch there from Rodallega overhit it, but it meant that he was wide. Phil Neville could go in. You just see here Leighton Baines with a free kick up and over the wall, and that's a very decent save from Stojkovic. You can see it just bouncing just before him. That's a good save. He's done well to get across, and that's what Leighton Baines is capable of doing. Set pieces in front of goal or wide set pieces, can put in a great ball. Good save, good shot. Of course, maybe if that touch from Rodallega had been a little bit softer, he may have been able to look up and not had such a tight angle, had the chance of maybe passing or even shooting. But good defending from Phil Neville.
Jason Scotland, a couple of chances in that first half to try and break his Barclays Premier League duck. Rodallega, Figueroa, now Diame. The first half which swung one way and then the other. Everton looking to keep their foot down on the gas. Pienaar, Fellaini, being neat and tidy in front of the back four this afternoon. Donovan, McCarthy, trying to get back. This is Leighton Baines, harried by Nzogbia.
Always a horrible ball over the top for the left back. He knows there's a player behind him. He's got to, if he is going to pass it back to Tim Howard, it's got to be weight perfect. Not too soft that the attacker comes in and can just nick it off him, not too hard. But Tim Howard has to take a touch and suddenly he's under pressure. Of course, what he wants to do, he wants Tim Howard to come out and just kick it away, but Tim Howard obviously felt that he couldn't do that.
He does defend his clean sheets fiercely, Tim Howard. 19 last season. Not so many this season so far. Nzogbia's gone down. Assistant referee is flagging. Well, Nzogbia stayed down, but what's the decision here?
Well, he's definitely given the foul. What he hasn't done is put the flag across his chest.
It's a free kick. He's given a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. We were waiting for Andy Halliday to put the flag across his chest when we saw the flag raised. It didn't come, and this is why, just on the line.
Well, it's a definite foul, first and foremost. Is it inside or outside? I think that's probably just inside. This is a good angle here, you can see. Heisinger is not really outside the box there. Contact is made just there. Well, it's bang on the line, isn't it? If you're an Everton fan, it's outside. If you're a Wigan fan, it's inside.
Zombie with a free kick. As the G's once more ring around the DW Stadium. Everton with a man down here. Cahill who got in the way of that free kick. Yes, it was. Back on his feet and back on his station. Ahead of Phil Neville, Fellaini. Thumped back in by Diame and wide. It's a goal kick to Everton. Second big talking point of this game.
Well, I think that the fans are booing here at the DW Stadium. They're feeling that Fellaini comes in with his elbow up there. I don't think it makes any kind of movement towards the Wigan player.
This is Emerson Boyce. Wigan now with the momentum. It's another delicious ball, well defended by Senderos. Rodriguez setting himself here, blocked away by Phil Neville. And an over the crossbar from Paul Scharner. Good spell for Wigan.
Yeah, great play from Boyce, isn't it? You just see maybe Leighton Baines getting caught there. This is Nzogby down the right-hand side. He gets 3 Everton defenders around him, yet somehow still manages to get the cross in. And Emerson Boyce down the right-hand side, first of all, realises it comes off one of his own players, doesn't let it go out for a corner. It's a lovely ball to the far post, and Scharner, well, he's leaning back, he's bouncing just before he's getting in the strike. Would have been very, very difficult to try and get that on target.
Scharner hasn't scored since that 9-1 demolition by Tottenham. Leighton Baines, he goes down and doesn't appeal. And it was the fans behind the goal who were appealing. Osman shaking off Scharner. Now Pienaar. Baines was on his heels.
Not really seen him get forward in the second half so far, but he has in his position. Just thinking, don't foul when you're inside the box, and it's definitely not a penalty. Nzogby just easily could have clipped his heels there. See Leighton Baines realise he's overrun it against Caldwell. Definitely not a penalty. Referee 100% right there.
He's a player who's hoping to make the England World Cup squad for South Africa. Yet to be capped, but has been on the bench. Leighton Baines, huge part of Everton's armoury going forward, as well as being on his station at the back. Nzogby swerving away from Fellaini. Charles Nzogby coming more and more into this game. Thomas. See, Nzogby's got the confidence coursing through his veins, demanding the ball. Always an option at the moment. Wigan making inroads towards the Everton penalty area. Thomas looking for Rodriguez. Now Phil Neville. Senderos to Marouane Fellaini. Baines looking to try and place Sahar in. Change imminent by Everton. Victor Anichebe will be on shortly. 2 up top, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think if he's going to bring him on, there's no point in really putting him out wide. Maybe he's feeling, David Moyes is feeling they've got to go for it, because at 5 in midfield, they've been under pressure.
There's the South African, Stephen Pienaar. Neville. Senderos. Pienaar trying to spin away from Figueroa. It's another 5 Phil Neville. This is Louis Sahar. Cahill and Donovan waiting inside the penalty area. And Sahar gets it all wrong.
And of course, Anichebe can play out wide, and he can keep the same system if he wants to, David Moyes. You just see here Louis Sahar. Really, it's poor from him. He's better than that. And plus, he wants to be in the box on the end of a type of cross like that. Yeah, you know, he might decide to tweak the system, go 4-4-2, David Moyes, and tell him to get it up a little bit quicker, because they are being outplayed in midfield.
Heitinga. Stojkovic inside his penalty area. Anxious cries from the home fans around us. As I said before, he's quite a character, Vladimir Stojkovic. And Zogdia. Landon Donovan after him. Landon Donovan gets a free kick. So he's been bought for Landon Donovan, his energy and his enthusiasm.
Yeah, he's an honest player, isn't he? He's showed that he's very good technically going forward. What he can do as well, which you need in English football, is to work and track back, help out your full-back, which is what he's been doing. Second half, been playing on the left-hand side, helping out Leighton Baines. Of course, going forward, you always try and work in little partnerships. Leighton Baines has got forward a couple of times, and Landon Donovan's just sat in a similar position where Leighton Baines would normally be, just in case there's a counter-attack.
He is on a 10-week loan, and if you look at the business David Moyes has done in the last few years, a large part of his successful signings have come initially on loan. The likes of Steven Pienaar, Mikel Arteta, Tim Howard.
What a boost that will be when Mikel Arteta not only comes back, but he's been out for a long time, so maybe you've got to give him a month or so to get back up to full fitness. But when he does, I think he's going to be a great addition. I think he's a wonderful player, Arteta, and one of Everton's best.
We can have 3 home games after this. Crunch time in the Barclays Premier League for them. And then Roberto Martinez will know which direction this team will be facing. It's Stoke home and Bolton home here. We have Sunderland away though too, so the Sunderland game is huge. To have Spurs home as well, but crunch time approaching as it is for both of these teams. Jason Scotland, Shauna out wide here. It's Paul Shauna. He really does have the taste for goals against Everton. Couldn't find a way past Tim Howard. Boyce has continued his run. Here's the Wigan fullback. Slices the cross. And a comfortable catch for Howard. Not far off the final 15 minutes of this game. Still no breakthrough. Still a game high on commitment, high on energy. Everton have this free kick.
What Wigan have done, they've not let Everton's flair players get on the ball tonight. Steven Pienaar's definitely one of them.
Leon Osman. Donovan, high and hanging, looking for Tim Cahill. Battle for all he's worth, so too will Wigan at the back. Jason Scotland. Wigan are making a change too. Scott Sinclair is about to come on. And Ichibi still waiting to come on for Everton. Neville finding Pienaar. Fellaini's forward here. It's Tim Cahill. Cahill again. Fellaini touches the ball in, but the flag is up. It won't count. Everton's celebrations cut short by the flag of Gary Stott.
Well, Wigan, as I said earlier, have done well not to let Pienaar get on the ball, but that's what he does. And he's not giving it offside there. He's giving it offside there, I think. You just see the first ball that came through from Pienaar. He could have been offside, but that's not when the flag went up. When the ball came back to Cahill and then he passed it to Fellaini, that's when the flag went up. I'm not sure he was offside though.
Well, Donovan goes off, still yet to complete full 90 minutes for Everton, and Victor Anichebe is on. And it looks like Anichebe will start from the far side, so out wide for Everton. So same system, Anichebe in place of Landon Donovan. But another contentious moment in this game.
We've had a few, haven't we? It's been a really good 0-0 so far. That man there has had to make quite a few decisions. That last one was really taken out of his hands.
And Sompia. He's got the free kick, and this is a promising position for Wigan.
He's such a dangerous player, Sompia, isn't he? He comes inside and runs. He's got a great left foot, great pace, good skill. How many times has he been fouled this afternoon? It's a great position. He's at 30 yards out, right in front of goal.
Hugo Rodallega is carefully placing the ball. Announced his arrival in the Barclays Premier League by striking the crossbar from a free kick against Liverpool last season. The same distance, it was just a little bit wider than this. Hugo Rodallega, the wall had dashed down. It was Stephen Pienaar who led the breakouts, and he has been yellow carded, and the free kick will be taken again.
Good decision, and you can't argue with that. He hadn't even taken it. It was 2 or 3 yards away from the ball, and Stephen Pienaar started running towards it. You just can't do that. You know it's a yellow card if it's going to hit you. It's a waste of time doing it. Only 5 yards from the actual ball when he takes it in the end.
Hugo Rodallega to reload. It's deflected. Wigan want a handball, it's a corner.
Tim Cahill's been hit a couple of times on the head, hasn't he? Well, what's that, his arm? Being very professional afterwards, making it look as if it does hit him in the head, but you can just see here, that's hit his arm. He's actually outside the box anyway, but that should be another free kick right on the edge of the box.
That's a good save. Let's see Everton get away with that one. The arms were up protecting his face. Haiting it, hoping that Tim Howard would get to it, and that he just about did.
I think he was lucky there. Certainly Heitinger didn't realise how close Mason Scotland was to the ball there, and Tim Howard perhaps saw it all, but I think Heitinger was very lucky. Only inches away, Scotland.
Jason Scotland is about to come off. Scott Sinclair still waiting to make his bow in this game. Plenty of pace about the youngster on loan from Chelsea. Baines fighting Louis Sahar. Now it's Pienaar. Trying to go between 2 Wigan players. Looks around pleadingly to the referee and gets nothing. For this game, Lee Clever may well wish he had today. He was 4th official of Birmingham City. He's had big calls to make today. A phone call yesterday to replace Alan Wiley. He's had those 2 penalty appeals that he waved away. We'll get the free kick in the second instant to Wigan, and then the Everton goal, which they claim was onside. Key moment is when did the assistant referee put his flag in the air. There's the change. Sinclair on, and Scotland off. Another day without a Premier League goal for Jason Scotland, but again, as is his way, he's put himself around, spearheading Wigan's attack. His best chances came in the first half.
Yeah, he's worked hard. He did have those chances in the first half. Expect to see Rodallega go up front and Scott Sinclair maybe out wide. He's got pace, the lad, there's no doubt about that. He scored some fantastic goals in the Championship. Just needs to try and be a bit more consistent in the Premier League.
And he should be winning the flick. Fellaini giving chase. Leighton Baines. Hold off Charlton Zombia. Baines away from Shauna and wins the corner. Really good play from the Everton left back.
been a few balls have gone straight to head, hasn't there? Great skill here from Leighton Baines. Just wonder whether he's going to try and lay the ball off, but decided not to. Goes past one player. Ooh, have some of that.
Leighton Baines with the corner. And each of it. Leighton Baines fired in. Hume at the far post, the assistant's flag is up. Free kick to Wigan.
Good decision, really good decision there. Fellaini just a little bit of a push, he doesn't need to. He's so tall, if he times his run here, just the push there. He really doesn't need to be making that kind of push in the box. And here's the disallowed goal, you can just see here, Cahill I think is just offside. But the linesman doesn't put his flag up, he puts his flag up here as Cahill rolls it inside. Fellaini is behind Tim Cahill there for onside, therefore that goal should have stood.
The goal now wins it. Louis Sahar, he's cornered, and he has got the decision. Corner kick to Everton. Strength from Louis Sahar. Everton are finishing the stronger. Fellaini forward, and each of you there. So too Louis Sahar and Tim Cahill. Baines with it. It's a wonderful header. It is a stunning goal. Tim Cahill strikes again. Trademark celebration, trademark goal, and Everton may just have won this game.
Well, how does he do it? He just keeps on doing it season after season, doesn't he? The timing of his run and the leap that he does, he gets above people who are 4, 5, 6 inches taller than him. You look how high he gets there. There's actually no one just in the front area there, and suddenly once he loses his man, there's no one to come and help out. How high he climbs.
13 goals to his name this season, Louis Sahar. Everton have got plenty of football out of it in the last couple of seasons since his move from Old Trafford. He was about to be substituted, and that now confirmed. And James Vaughan, talking about injuries, James Vaughan has been so unlucky with injuries, even when he was a youngster. In his young teenage years, he missed a lot of football, and when you're developing as a footballer in the academies, it's an important time to miss.
It is, yeah. I mean, you look at the other side of the city with Stephen Gerrard when he was growing up, and he picked up a lot of injuries, and we wonder whether he will actually realise his potential purely because of the injuries. And he managed to steer clear for a good few years and has turned into a world-class player. Obviously, I'm not saying James Vaughan is a similar type of player, but yeah, if you can avoid his injuries, you have the chance of realising your potential, and that's all he wants to do, have that chance to do that.
And he's been a big character to bounce back from those injuries in his young days, teenage days. And he's back on the field now for Everton, only 21 years of age, James Vaughan. Will Wigan get one last chance in this game to level it up? Senderos has done well. He's been fairly calm and assured at the back on his Everton debut, Philippe Senderos. And a backward touch from each of it. Vaughan is waiting in the middle. So too Pienaar. Do Everton go for the second goal? Yes, they do. Tim Cahill tries to get to it. Emerson Boyce for Wigan. Still time for them to get a point out of this game. Sinclair trying to turn it back towards Boyce. Approaching the final 20 seconds of additional time. There will be some added for the substitution made a few moments ago. And Zogbia away from Cahill, around Fellaini. McCarthy. Now it's Caldwell. Shaw waiting inside the penalty area. Caldwell with the cross, away again by Senderos. This is Charlton. Zogbia off the crossbar. In the dying seconds, Wigan almost rescue a point.
Oh, well, what a game he's had. He doesn't deserve to be on the losing side. Whether he's been on the right-hand side or in the middle, he's always looked dangerous. Really good first touch, brings it onto his left foot. That's a wonderful strike. Tim Howard is nowhere near it. Great strike. Just look at the first touch, brings it onto his left foot, his favoured foot. That's what he can do. Just inches further down. That would have been the equaliser.
How unlucky, but Charlton's Obbia and Wigan, Everton off the hook. Fabulous effort. Everton's rise continues. 3 Premier League wins in a row. Heartbreak for Roberto Martinez and Wigan Athletic. The match winner, Tim Cahill. A towering leap, a powerful header to win it in the final 10 minutes. Many talking points in this game. Everton with a penalty appeal that was waved away. Louis Sahara in the first half. Then Wigan thought they should have had a penalty in the second half when a free kick was given. But it's Everton's day. Tim Cahill, the match winner again. A trademark goal from the Australian. It's finished at the DW Stadium. Wigan Athletic 0, Everton 1. David, that was a tight game decided by a fabulous header from Tim Cahill.
It was a really good header from Tim Cahill, and in the end, just a bit deserved, I think.
I've seen it many times from Tim. How can he leap that high? It was an incredible leap from him today.
It was, and it's sort of trademark goal for Tim. He's not had that many this year like that, but we know he's capable of it, and good ball in by Bainsey from the corner kick gave him the chance.
Should you have had a penalty in the first half and a goal in the second half?
Well, I think you'd have to start at the beginning. I don't know if your Sky cameras caught the first minute when Caldwell pulls Tim Cahill through back on goal, but that's a definite sending off after a minute. And then it was a penalty kick, and then I think we score a goal as well where Tim Cahill cuts it back from the byline and Fellaini puts it in, but it's given offside. So we didn't get the right end of the decisions today, that's for sure.
Roberto, do you feel aggrieved to have lost that game today?
Well, really disappointed for the players, really, because they don't deserve to lose the football game. Everything was right about the performance. We created a few good chances in the first half, 1v1 situations that we got better quality to finish them, and then it's just one of them second halves that nothing goes your way, a situation that probably it should have been a penalty, then the action that it leads to the corner, it should have been overthrown. So one of them moments, because it happened on Wednesday as well, that nothing goes our way and everything becomes a big problem, and then to lose the game that late in the game from a set play is heartbreaking, and the players don't deserve that. The performance was good enough to win the game, never mind to get a draw, but obviously you need to take the chances.
Your goal, it was quite some leap.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to get away from Figueroa in the game. He had me pretty well marked, and then that's just that one moment and the chance that you take, and it makes a difference.
Unbeaten in 9 in the league now. How high are confidence levels?
Well, we think we can play better than we have done today, but we're confident we're on a little bit of a run. We know what we can do and play better, as I said, than today, but the result was good. That was the most important thing.
Is that the positive you take from this today, the overall performance?
Well, it is because in many aspects we stop Everton from creating much, and as I said, we put ourselves in very good positions, and then is that reaction even towards the end. Charlie hits the crossbar and you feel that nothing goes our way. Now we need to make sure that we affect what's in front of us, which is the performance that we got coming up. It's a lot of games in February, and we need to make sure that we carry on with a level of performance, and if we do that, the points will come, the rewards will come. Now is a real test of character to take at the field like this.